What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video with your host, as always, K-Mac Time. And today we are taking another look back at one of my personal favorite gaming systems, the Nintendo 64. Now, I made a video a while back talking about some of the rarest and most expensive games on the system, including Sculptor's Cut and Bomberman Second Attack. And you guys can check that video out. Link will be in the end slate and in the description if you guys want to check that video out. But today we're taking another closer look into the game library to find some more games that are becoming very hard to find and are going up in price. So if you see any of these games for a decent price, make sure to snag them and pick them up. But let's go ahead and jump right in with number 10 on the list, Hydro Thunder. Now, Hydro Thunder is a speedboat racing game, originally an arcade game that was later released for the Sega Dreamcast as a launch title in 1999, but it was also ported to the Sony PlayStation and Nintendo 64 in early 2000. However, by that time, the GameCube was just over the horizon and many people were holding off. Sales of this game were mediocre, making it slightly harder to find nowadays. The average price of this cart goes for $15 to $20, and it is a blue cart, so that's pretty cool. Next at number 9, we have Space Station Silicon Valley, which is a platform game released in October of 1998 by a Scottish developer, DMA Design, which is interestingly enough now known as Rockstar North and the creator of the Grand Theft Auto series. The game is known for its game-breaking bugs and several glitches, but despite that, it still received a 9.5 from IGN reviewers and was a critically acclaimed game. The game, however, did not sell too terribly good, and the game is actually uncommon to run across in the wild and will go for about $20 to $25 depending on condition for a loose cart. Coming in at number 8 is Rocket Robot on Wheels, which is a platforming game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Ubisoft for the Nintendo 64, and the game was released in North America on October 31st, 1999, and it was the first game developed by Sucker Punch, who would later go on to develop titles such as Sly Cooper and Infamous for Sony. Now, Rocket Robot on Wheels is notable for being the first game on a home platform to use a realistic physics engine to drive the gameplay. And this game was kind of hard to come by and it didn't sell all that great. And a loose cart of this would run you about $20 to $25. Number 7 goes to Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, which is a platform action-adventure game released by Konami on the N64 on August 7th, 1997 in Japan and April 16th, 1998 in North America as a 5th entry in the Ganbare Goemon series, the second Goemon game that was actually ever released in North America. It actually follows the legends of the Mystical Ninja and features hybrid elements of platform games like Super Mario 64 and action-adventure games like the Legend of Zelda series. This game can actually pretty hard to come across and will usually run about $30 to $35 for a loose cart. Number 6 goes to a Blockbuster rental exclusive title called Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals. Now, this is another one of those games, much like Sculptor's Cut, that was just a slight different variation from its non-rental version, but since there were very few produced, and they had to be only purchased through the rental stores once they went under or when they started selling off old games, they can be very hard to find and track down and will usually cost a pretty penny. This one goes anywhere between $35 to $45 for a loose cart. Next at number 5 is Duck Dodgers, which is a platform game for the N64 that was released in the year 2000. Heavily based on the cartoon, the player takes control of Daffy Duck and explores 5 fictional planets in order to save the Earth. The object is to collect all the energy atoms to unlock the boss areas and defeat the bosses upon these areas. Upon defeating them, you unlock the next planet and you progress through the game. Now, this was another game that came out later in the N64's life cycle with the GameCube just over the horizon, and it did not sell that well, making this game kind of rare to run across in the wild. A loose cart of this game is going currently for around $40 to $45. Number 4 goes to Carmageddon 64, which is a vehicular combat game similar to the PlayStation's Twisted Metal series. This game was released in 2000 for the N64 and was met with absolutely awful reviews. The game was actually a poor port of a PC version of the game and did not sell very well in North America. Coupling that with its late release in the lifespan of the 64, this is another game that is hard to come by and it's a rare cart. It sells for around $40 to $45 today on average. Number 3 is Super Bowling, and this game is actually incredibly hard to come by, and that's because of the weird timing Nintendo released this game. The game was actually originally released as a Super Nintendo game in 1992, but was updated and re-released for the N64 in Japan in 1999. However, it wasn't actually released in North America until January of 2001, just after the launch of the GameCube. Due to this, it sold very poorly, making it one of the rarest games on the system. A loose cart of this can go for as much as $90 to $100. Number 2 on the list goes to Tarak Rage Wars: The Gray Cart. Now, the more common version of this game is in a black cartridge and is not worth all that much. However, the gray version was only obtainable by emailing a claim and sending in your original cart for this gray version of the game. Well, now, why would you do this? Well, because the original black cart version had a fatal bug that made it impossible to beat the campaign in co-op mode, which was unacceptable for a few gamers, as the N64 gamers tended to play a lot of co-op back in the day. Now, long story short, almost no one did this, and only a select few who emailed a claim received this cart in the mail. Not many game collectors even knew about these carts until 2012, when over 120 of them were listed on eBay for $12.99 a piece. Since then, the price has skyrocketed and they have been selling for over $120 a piece. And finally, our number 1 spot goes to the Wideboy 64. Now, while technically this is not a game, this is an extremely rare cart that demands huge amounts of money for those who are lucky enough to run across one. This was actually developed by Intelligent Systems. The Wideboy is a rather obscure series of adapters similar to the Super Game Boy that was able to play Game Boy games, and there's actually several different variations of it produced that some could even play Game Boy Advance games. However, it was released only to developers and members of the press, and it was never released to the public. Because of this, the rarity is insanely off the charts on these. They demand huge amounts of money. The last one that sold on eBay sold for over $575. So there you guys have it, 10 more rare and expensive N64 games to keep an eye out while you're out there game collecting. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could drop a like on the video, and feel free to subscribe to my channel if you're new around here for more rare game videos, along with my daily content that'll be in your sub box. Also, remember, there's always K-Mac time somewhere. Until next time, guys, take it easy and peace out.